EA Sports. It's in the game.
I'm Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas, and we welcome you to a sold-out Boardwalk Hall in Atlantic City, New Jersey for tonight's main event. 12 rounds of lightweight action between Diego Corrales and Pernell Whitaker. Diego Chico Corrales' focus is front and center as he makes his way to the ring right now. Sweet Pea, Pernell Whitaker's making his way to the ring right now. Puffing out his chest, glaring with those eyes, and taking a big stride to his destination of glory.
Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Diego Chico Corrales. And his opponents, fighting out of the blue corner, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
All right, fellas, let's have a good, clean fight. Touch him up and let's go.
Opening round here, scheduled for 12. When we get matchups like this, guys that just won't quit, they'll be there every step of the way like Gaddy Ward. Sometimes there comes a point where one fighter thinks he's got himself an advantage, he's done something great, but then the other fighter doesn't go away. How does that play out in the minds of each fighter?
Usually it doesn't affect the kind of guys you just mentioned, Gaddy and Ward. They're made how to cement these guys. They're already set in their ways. They know what they have to do. They're not going to get thrown off just because somebody's still there.
Able to get away from that headshot with the block. Able to dismiss it. Takes one, gives one. The right hand scores well. Chico able to land the counter punch. He clearly came in with a strategy here tonight, Teddy, and so many times it's, hey, I'm going to bang that drum.
Yeah, he is banging that drum. That drum happens to be the body, and he figures that he's going to try to move on him, so start doing it early on, and later on, he's going to have a guy in front of him.
Teddy, what do you think is the most misunderstood about the lower weight classes?
Well, I think people don't realize how big those people have to be. I know that sounds crazy because they're smaller guys, but they have to be big in all the other dimensions, with discipline, with confidence, and with their technical approach, their technical development. They have to deal with guys that are really fast. The bigger guys don't have to deal with all those elements.
Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Diego Corrales. And Corrales able to block that punch. Not precise at all by Pernell Whitaker. And in round number 1, you already get the sense that they have no intentions of this fight going the distance. Took a shot, but he came back with a right hand of his own. Oh, and there you go. He falls victim to that big hook. Wow, saved by the bell. That's like something out of a movie here.
Yeah, except nobody's coming in there and saying, cut. You know, he has to keep going here. Right now, the only thing he knows is he's got flashballs going off in his head.
Yeah, looking good. You keep your hands up, all right? Get the compress on. Get the compress on. Let's work on.
So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. But now the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but...
Oh, that uppercut absolutely rocked him. Boy, I don't like the way his legs look at all right now. Good block.
Use the jab. Upcut.
Great movement to get away from those punches.
More movement, head movement.
Here's one for you now, he says. Right back with the left hand. Halfway through round number 2. Targeting the hooks on each man. His opponent wanted the body. He wouldn't give it to him. Pernell Whitaker's got a way of just getting away from that punch. Good way to protect the midsection. Good counter punch from Corrales. Diego Corrales is now showing us something that could have a great impact on this fight, Teddy, and that's his ability to counter.
Yeah, he's mixing it up a little bit. We know he can lead, we know he can get off first, but now this dimension serving him well.
That's what Sweet Pea does best. Good counter punch.
Keep your hands up.
Good counter punch from Corrales. 10 clicks of the talk.
Hello. Relax. You can do this. You know you got this. Jab and throw. Throw to the body, then to the head. Then finish to the body. Yeah. You just focus on the fight. We'll take care of the swelling.
Back to fight action as a new round is underway. Of course, in that last round, it was fairly one-sided. He was hit pretty hard, and now he has to overcome that here.
Yeah, you don't have to be Nostradamus to know that. I mean, everybody saw, you know, he got staggered, his knees buckled, did a little dance there. But what you have to really know now is know why you got hit and correct that immediately.
Blocks that punch. There it is! Diego Corrales is stunned and he is hurt. He is stunned there, and now he ties up.
He ties up, and he was allowed to tie up, and that's what he's going to be sorry for, the other guy, that he allowed himself to get grabbed.
Now there's some blood, but it's underneath the eye. It's on the cheek, so it's not going to impair his vision.
Keep the head moving.
Does it surprise you that he's not going to the body as much as he could be?
Well, what surprises me is that he doesn't have the intuitiveness, you know, just the instinct to understand, to recognize the situation. That's part of the ability of a good fighter, to recognize what he should be doing in a certain situation. He's not seeing that. He should be going downstairs.
Coming to the halfway point of this third round. A crafty counterpunch after a fine defensive effort by Pernell Whitaker. Boy, that's a big gash there on the cheek. Wow! Diego Corrales is in a bad place right now. He was tagged.
Hey, no holding, no holding. Come on, punch it out.
That worked out really well, throwing off the right hand after getting tagged like that. Blocks that punch. Here's one for you now, he says. Right back with the left hand. Very nice defensive guard there. Pulls the trigger right away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. He tried to nab him up top, but was unable to connect. And this round comes to an end. It is a round that was highly entertaining. These guys really put forth quite an effort.
Well, they both have high engines. They have motors that never stop going.
Don't fight his fight. Jab, jab, jab. We'll take care of the swelling. Just focus on the fight and we'll take care of the swelling.
So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. Now, the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but why did he get caught? He has to be able to decipher that in his head. He has to be able to have the answer to that so it doesn't happen again.
That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Diego Corrales. See, he's got his guard up really well that time, and it protects his head. Pernell Whitaker's pushing away right there. You can see him shoving, trying to create some space. Nice block. Nice block by Pernell Whitaker. A headshot blocked. away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. Good defense, just covering up down low. Able to dismiss that body shot. That's what Sweet Pea does best. Good counter punch. Well, maybe one of the most impressive characteristics and traits in all of boxing. We're seeing it on display here. He has an iron chin. Comes right back with some offense of his own. Takes one, gives one. The right hand scores well. Wow, is he defensively sound.
Jab, use the jab.
His opponent wanted the body. He wouldn't give it to him. Seconds to go in the fourth. End of the round here, and as I glance around ringside and look at the judges, I'm wondering what they're writing down, because that was a tough round to score.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it's the kind of round where one guy would be really smart to take a page out of the book of Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, where Leonard stole rounds at the end, where he just clipped off 30 seconds, and that's exactly what the judges remembered.
All right, listen. You need to create more punches, okay? Let this punch just throw a straight right down the middle. You gotta give him the double jab. You're not giving him the double jab. You're only giving him one jab at a time.
Round number 5 has arrived. Good block by Corrales.
Come on, side to side. Unload!
Well, I don't know if he's hip to the idea of becoming a counter-puncher, but I get the sense you'd agree with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's got the perfect platform, the perfect form for it. The guy's walking in right now, not moving his head much. He can time him, he can counter him.
Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Diego Corrales is doing well, sticking to a game plan on the outside. Teddy, you know what I'm so impressed by? Obviously, the pace of this fight is just ridiculous, but how hungry these guys are, how badly each guy wants it.
Joe, this is the kind of fight that it has nothing to do about money. It has everything to do about legacy, how they're going to be remembered.
Great fight. I mean, just a great fight. Both guys giving their all back and forth.
It doesn't get much better.
Halfway through this round here. Blocks that belt line well. Well-placed counter punch by Pernell Whitaker. Counter punch lands from Pernell. Good block by Corrales. Diego Corrales. Coming to the end of round number 5, last 10 seconds. Really wanted that uppercut, but just couldn't get it. Boy, that's a big gash there on the cheek. Teddy, making predictions in boxing is often a dangerous task, but I'll make one right here that seems pretty obvious to me as we come to the end of that round here. This fight is going to be a brutal display as long as it lasts.
It's kind of like going and watching that home run contest. Nobody's trying to hit singles or doubles. You know they're all going for the fences.
Don't worry about it. The swelling is nothing. Just focus on the fight. We'll take care of itself. Get on that now.
As another round gets underway, it gets us thinking, how much more of this will we see? Hard to envision this fight going the distance with how lopsided it's been. Dismisses his opponent's headshot. See him holding on.
Come on, guys, keep apart. Punch it out. Come on, punch it out.
Good way to protect the midsection. And a good counter by Pernell Whitaker.
Side to side. Move your head. Keep your head moving.
Good block by Corrales. A hook for you and a hook right back. Diego Corrales' ability to properly throw and land his combinations has been stunning. Teddy, why is he so successful?
Because you just said it, he's putting them together. You know, one or two wouldn't land, but he's handcuffing the guy. And the first two punches, they set up the third and fourth.
Able to dismiss it. This is why we love the sport, Teddy. I mean, this is just back and forth action nonstop.
Well, Joe, with special events have happened in history, you remember where you are. Right now, I'm going to remember where I was during this fight. I'm watching a special epic right in front of me.
Glad to be here doing it, too. What a war this is. Back and forth exchange.
Get the compress on that.
Listen to me. You're not giving me enough punches, okay? Throw more punches. Jab, jab, jab. Hook, jab, jab, jab. Hook, hook, hook. Head to the body, head to the body, head to the body. Jab, jab.
And we are underway with the second half of this fight.
Body.
Don't stay in one spot.
Diego Corrales is staying away from trouble. He's out there on the outside. Just good, precise, precision punching by our man here.
Yeah, everything in the place that it needs to be.
now just wasting everybody's time holding on.
Jab, jab, use the jab.
Needs to improve that accuracy, missed with the headshots. Chico able to land the counter punch. Teddy, I know he's up on the scorecards here. He's got to be up on the scorecards, but he is getting really pushed here.
Yeah, he is. You know, this is a development fight. This is a fight where you come out of it and you get better. That doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes you just get another W. He is learning.
Good looking right hand after he got hit. Something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Showing you some defense there with the block. Blocks away that headshot.
Keep those hands up. Keep working the body.
Good counter punch from Corrales. Pernell Whitaker showing that he doesn't have any head movement defensively whatsoever. What else is there, Teddy?
Well, there's legs. Start using your legs a little bit. Get out of range. One way or the other, get out of the other man's target place.
How about that exchange? There's the headshot, but he parries it away. Well, obviously, what his opponent has done here is the reason that cut is in the shape that it's in. So if you're him, just keep doing what you're doing?
Yes and no, Joe. Of course, it's easy to say, yeah, keep doing what you're doing. But what if there's a little change? Your opponent's cut now. He's going to move his head, you figure, a little bit to survive in there. Now you shouldn't go head hunting, even though that cut's there. Now you have to adjust to what's in front of you. Go downstairs to the body a little bit, then go back up to that head. Don't let that red flag, so to speak, get you to go crazy and forget the body.
This has been a very entertaining fight. A little time to reflect here at the end of this round. My thoughts being this: I would really be surprised if we go to a decision here. It just has that kind of feel to it.
Yeah, it has a feel to me like going to one of those places where you can eat all the pasta you can for one price, you know? And some guys get carried away. They eat about 5 bowls. Well, these guys, they're going to have a stomachache at the end. Somebody is going to wind up not standing at the end.
Okay, listen. Body in hand, body in hand. Double from your body punches, then hand.
Another round underway, but how many more will we see? You get the sense this fight could be heading towards a stoppage. Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. Wow, is he defensively sound. Corrales is doing a good job tonight on the outside. He's able to score from the outside, keeping a safe distance away from his opponent. Gets rid of that body shot.
Body shot.
Wow, just sit back and enjoy this one. You can tell both guys are so determined to give everything they have here tonight.
Joe, it's like the first time you heard Ray Charles sing God Bless America. You knew it was special. You knew you hadn't heard it before. I haven't seen anything like this before.
Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark. Able to dismiss that body shot. Corrales with a block punch. He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Diego Corrales. And a sharp counterpunch by Pernell Whitaker. Not able to land the headshot. Parries that punch intended for the head. Oh, Diego Corrales is down and hurt.
One, two, three, four, five.
He went down from a big shot. Now he's got to have some big guts to move along.
You're going to find out exactly what he's made of.
His opponent wanted the body. He wouldn't give it to him. And he returns on that exchange. Good block by Corrales.
Don't stay in one spot. Circle.
End of the round. A round in which a knockdown was scored. Now, Teddy, if you're the trainer in the corner of the guy scoring the knockdown, what are some of the things you want to remind him of?
You want to remind him how he got there, because a lot of times it's the tendency to just remember the punch that put him there. He dressed him up. He set that punch up. Don't think about just the punch that landed. Think about the setup punches.
Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll take care of it because it's nothing. A small cut, nothing to worry about. Let's get on that swelling. We can compress on that.
So here we are, all wondering, can he survive the start of this round after the way we saw him go down in that last round?
Well, it's up to his opponent. Now, his opponent gets a little careless and he rushes in a little bit too close.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Diego Corrales' legs look shaky. He was hurt.
Keep busy,
Pernell
guys.
Whitaker
Come on
showing
now. Keep
some
busy.
real guts here. Hey, this fight was not
Work the
going
body.
his way at
Get it
all,
out,
but
get it out.
somehow he has gathered momentum.
Yeah, he behaved like a fighter. He got through the tough times, and now guess what? Good times in front of him.
Side to side, move your head.
Good counterpunch from Corrales.
Let's see some more head movement. Let's see some more head movement. Get out of the way.
Parries that punch intended for the head. Pernell Whitaker with a counterpunch. I think it has come to that point. He's behind on the cards. He's just got to be. Going to take a knockout to win this?
Yeah, I think so, and it's going to take a certain kind of attitude or strategy, a change in strategy. You go into the fights, you don't look for a knockout. You're looking to use your jab, you're looking to set up punches, you're looking to go rounds. Right now, he's got to find a way to get a knockout. Look for one punch. One big punch right now.
And coming upon the halfway mark of this 3-minute round. Wow! Pernell Whitaker's in bad shape. He's completely turned his offense off. You can see that he's just in an extreme defensive posture. But still, his opponent is scoring here.
Look, the extreme defensive posture is a problem. But if he was moving his head with his hands up, at least there'd be misses there. When his opponent would miss, there'd be an opening to come back where even if you didn't come back, his opponent would be a little worried about sitting in there on you. He'd have to think defense. Right now, he's only thinking offense.
Great fight. I mean, just a great fight. Both guys giving their all back and forth.
It doesn't get much better.
You can see he's trying to score up top, but off the mark there. Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. There it is! Diego Corrales' legs look shaky. He was hurt. Pernell Whitaker's mounting a comeback here, Teddy. Things were going against him. Now the tide has turned.
Good things come to those who wait or those who persevere. He persevered, good things are happening.
Breathe in. Take a deep breath. Great job.
Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. No, there's nothing. Small cut, nothing to worry about. We'll take care of the swelling. Just focus on the fight and we'll take care of the swelling.
Back to fight action as a new round is underway. Of course, in that last round, it was fairly one-sided. He was hit pretty hard, and now he has to overcome that here.
Yeah, you don't have to be Nostradamus to know that. I mean, everybody saw, you know, he got staggered, his knees buckled, did a little dance there. But what you have to really know now is know why you got hit and correct that immediately.
What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Diego Corrales. Pernell Whitaker's able to avoid that punch. Corrales with a block punch. Good-looking right hand after he got hit. Good return fire that time. Blocks that punch. Oh, Pernell Whitaker's legs look shaky. He was hurt. Chico able to land the counter punch. And he ties up on the inside. It's been 2 minutes of non-stop action. Now the final minute has arrived. Corrales with a block punch. Good counter punch from Corrales. And that's what fighters do. Pulls the trigger right away after taking one. As this round comes to an end, Teddy, you just get the sense that at any point this fight could come to an end because it is being fought with bad intentions.
Yes, these guys are not behaving like guys that are coming here thinking about going to the scorecards. They're letting everything go in every punch.
And we're gonna cut it. No, the cut's enough. No, don't worry about it. That was good. You took a lot out of that. Keep that up.
They are back to action here, but that action has only favored one man. Completely one-sided. Hard to see the scorecards coming into play here with how dominating he's been. Staying away from those headshots with his defense up top. Pernell Whitaker's trying to create some space. You can see how he's going about it there. Very nice defensive guard there. Sweet Pea does best. Good counterpunch. You know, we see that he's made a stylistic change after being stunned here in this fight. But what about his opponent? Does his opponent have to make a change as well?
Well, he's got to adapt too. If he sees that what was working before for him has been taken away because the guy changed now, you know, he's made corrections, well, he's got to find another way, another offensive, you know, opening or another offensive way to get to the guy. He's got to be right with him.
Good block by Corrales. This is great stuff. I mean, great stuff. Bringing it every which way they are.
So you remember the time you were on a vacation, you saw that perfect sunset?
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful. This is beautiful.
Able to dismiss his opponent's shot and then comes back with an uppercut. 1 minute to go in a round that feels like an all-time classic. Punch for punch, they're meeting each other. Corrales with a block punch. Good defensive skill with the block by Pernell Whitaker. Dismisses his opponent's headshot. Oh, Diego Corrales has been stunned. Pernell Whitaker showing some real guts here. Hey, this fight was not going his way at all, but somehow he has gathered momentum.
Yeah, he behaved like a fighter. He got through the tough times, and now guess what? Good times in front of him.
So we come to the end of the round, and clearly a confidence booster for this man. He got to his opponent. He was able to stun him. Teddy, when a fighter comes back after doing what he just did, do you see them almost light up, like get a little boost of energy because of that?
Yeah, it does build your confidence a little bit. You know, it makes you feel more secure. I can control this man. I had my way.
Final round. This is the champion. You need to capitalize on these mistakes.
So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. Now, the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but why did he get caught? He has to be able to decipher that in his head. He has to be able to have the answer to that so it doesn't happen again.
Comes right back at him with a left hand. Good job protecting himself. Chico able to land the counter punch. Good way to protect the midsection. Diego Corrales is trying to create some space. You can see how he's going about it there. Looking right hand after he got hit.
Work the body. Use your feet.
And Corrales able to block that punch. Halfway through what is one of the best rounds you'll ever see. Just great action.
No, it's unbelievable. I mean, if you love roller coasters, you go to an amusement park. If you want to see left hooks, right hands, every direction, great chins, great endurance, great heart, you come to this fight. You stay right here.
Chico able to land the counter punch. A hook for you, and a hook right back. A headshot blocked. And for the official judges' scores, let's send it up to the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the judges have reached a unanimous decision. Your winner, Chico Corrales.
Diego Chico Corrales is your winner by unanimous decision. All three judges giving it to him.
I didn't agree with the judges completely, but they got the right guy winning.
For Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. That does it ringside. We'll see you next time.
No matter how hard you try, you can't stop me now.
Hi, everybody. So glad you're with us. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas, and we welcome you to Boardwalk Hall at the famed Atlantic City Boardwalk in southern New Jersey for tonight's main event. 12 rounds in the middleweight division between Winky Wright and Kelly Pavlik. Winky Wright's on his way to the ring, and you can just tell what kind of night he intends this to be. He's just brimming with confidence. Kelly Pavlik's making his way to the ring now, and you can see how focused he is on the task at hand.
Fighting out of the blue corner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ronald, Winky Wright. His opponents in the blue corner, please welcome the Ghost, Kelly Pavlik.
All right, guys. Protect yourself at all times. You got that? All right, let's touch them up.
This is a 12-rounder. Here's round number one.
Teddy, most of the fighters that you train throughout your career are guys that could be described as this, guys that really will bring it and are able to do it throughout the whole fight and go the distance. What's the mental makeup of a guy like that?
Confidence. He's been there before. He's sure that he can do it.
Kelly Pavlik blocks that away. Kelly Pavlik blocks that punch. That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Winky Wright. Pavlik with a good block. Gives one. Good work by Kelly Pavlik. Able to get rid of that one. Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. Good defensive skill. Fine fundamentals, good counterpunch. Whatever game plan and strategy they may have come in with, Teddy, they may have just thrown it out the window. They're trading blows nonstop in the round one.
Everything's been thrown out the window. Everything in the room is going out the window, and we love it.
Off the mark. Oh, and he comes back with an uppercut there after getting hit. He returns the favor with a right hand of his own. a shot. Big hook comes in.
Keep busy, guys. Come on now. Keep busy.
He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Winky Wright. Seconds to go in this round. Covers up nicely, gets rid of his opponent's body shot. Coming to the end of this round. Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Teddy, a round like that where it's a lot of busy activity and both guys being busy. When you were a trainer, are those the kind of rounds that you prefer, or do you like the pace to be a little slower? Does it depend on each guy?
No, if I have a fight, I'd rather have a guy fighting a guy that you never see him. Leave me the heck alone. And where I'm in control all the time. But the fans love to see a fight like that.
That's it. Throw him off at movements. You just focus on the fight. We'll take care of this well. Get on that. Get on that.
Back to fight action as a new round is underway. Of course, in that last round, it was fairly one-sided. He was hit pretty hard, and now he has to overcome that here.
Yeah, you don't have to be Nostradamus to know that. I mean, everybody saw, you know, he got staggered, his knees buckled, did a little dance there. But what you have to really know now is know why you got hit and correct that immediately.
Good block by Winky. Well, boy, did we find out a lot about Kelly Pavlik when he faced Jermaine Taylor and got up off the canvas to return the favor and win the middleweight title.
Yes, we did, but we already had a little peek into his window, so to speak, when he had fought a couple fights earlier. We knew he had a good chin, and we knew that he knew how to behave when he was in trouble.
Nice block. Nice block that time. It was intended to the head. Halfway through round number 2. Able to show you his blocking ability. Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Some fine fundamentals, good counter punch.
Nice mousetrap there, he let him in beautifully. He didn't use cheese, he used distance.
He is very much being tested here, even though he's likely up on the scorecards. He's getting a real test here.
Yeah, Joe, a test that will serve him in the future. If he goes on to win this fight, which I think he will, he's going to take what he learned here today, what he gained here today, and it's going to serve him as he moves forward in his career.
That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Winky Wright. Winky Wright's swelling will not be what his corner wants to see. Parries that punch intended for the head. And this round comes to an end. A round that was highly entertaining. They put forth a non-stop effort.
Well, that's the styles that they figured to bring to this fight. Both guys with good motors.
I want to see Kampf.
Number 3 is underway.
Head moving.
Wright's now in a position where he may not even realize it, but the eye is getting worse. Still, he fights on.
He behaves like a fighter, and that's the greatest asset you have. It's not your jab, it's not your hook, it's not your power, it's not your footwork. It's your ability to behave like a fighter when you have to. He's doing that right now.
Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. He missed with that headshot.
As you've watched the development of Kelly Pavlik, is there anything you've noticed that you can say, okay, that's a tendency of his?
Well, sometimes maybe a little one-dimensional. He's in front of you. He's usually looking to get to you from that front door. But he's a guy that fundamentally, he's pretty solid.
Blocks that punch. He got hit right there, but he also gave one. Solid effort by Winky Wright. Winky Wright with a block punch. Lands the counter. Well, maybe one of the most impressive characteristics and traits in all of boxing. We're seeing it on display here. He has an iron chin. Nice strike after catching one by Winky Wright. Dismisses his opponent's headshot. Parries that punch away. Able to cover up that gut. Last 10 seconds of round number 3. Staying away from those headshots with his defense up top.
I need you to throw 3 punches. Combination. Get on that now.
Throw punches. Don't walk into him without throwing a punch. Nice. Nice work. You can't
Here we go with the 4th round.
Still not moving enough. Move, move. Come on, side to side.
What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Winky Wright. See, the defense pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs.
Kelly Pavlik comes from the same town as Ray Boom Boom Mancini, and interestingly enough, you can kind of see that dogged determination with both of those fighters.
Yeah, and you can see the same simple, basic traits. Blue-collar town, certain value system, reliability, dependability, strong character.
Good clean shot, returning fire. Well done by Winky Wright. Oh! Winky Wright's damaged by a right hand. He took a shot, but he came back with a right hand of his own. Keep it going.
90 seconds to go in round number 4.
Oh, superb right hand lands home by Kelly Pavlik. Oh, that's good stuff. Fire it right back with one of his own. Good work by Kelly Pavlik.
Move your head. Side to side. Move your head.
Parries that punch intended for the head. That wasn't able to land. Throws a counter punch there.
Undoubtedly, the most effective element of his entire arsenal tonight is his jab. He's so committed to fighting on the outside, and he's jabbing away from it.
Well, Customato used to tell me, Teddy, when you're in doubt, jab. Well, this fighter, when he's been in doubt, he's jab. When he's been sure of himself, he's jab. As you said, he's made a jab fest of this all night long.
Able to block that away. It was targeted for his head. Very nice job landing that counter punch, getting away from one that was coming at him.
Listen, I need to see some counter punches, okay? Whenever he misses, counter. Where's your body? Hit the body.
Look, you're standing straight up. Move that body. You need to move that body more. We'll take care of the swelling. Just focus on the fight and we'll take care of the swelling.
As another round gets underway, it gets us thinking, how much more of this will we see? Hard to envision this fight going the distance with how lopsided it's been. Nice work with the jab on the outside.
Every gym's got one of those double-ended bags, right? They give you the movement. You got to hit that moving target, work on your accuracy. He's making it so that his opponent never had to work on one, Teddy. He's just sitting right there, right in front. No head movement.
Oh, and there you go. Kelly Pavlik stunned, and he is hurt. He was on wobbly legs not long ago. Now he's got his feet back under him.
What is that, a chin, or is that Mount Rushmore?
Teddy, is this becoming a mental thing with him? I mean, he's not firing off the big power punches. I got to wonder why.
You know, that's a good question. Sometimes a guy is making a solid agreement in his mind that maybe if I don't hit him hard, he won't hit me hard back. He's not confident enough now to throw the punches without worrying about what will come back at him.
Move your head.
Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Winky Wright. Halfway through this round. Great movement to get away from those punches. Good clean shot, returning fire. Well done by Kelly Pavlik. This is great stuff. I mean, great stuff. Bringing it every which way they are.
Joe, you remember the time you were on a vacation, you saw that perfect sunset?
Oh, yeah.
It was just beautiful. This is beautiful.
Nice counter punch landed by Winky.
Kelly Pavlik still very close with mom and dad and the whole family unit. In fact, he moves back into his childhood home when he undergoes training camp.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of his strength. I know it doesn't show up in his jab numbers, but it shows up in the numbers that matter. That he's a guy that understands what his core is, where he's from, and where he's going.
Well, that's what Winky waits for, the counter punch. Just 10 seconds to go in this round. Way to block there. Winky Wright able to land a counter punch. And this round comes to an end. Joe Tessitore alongside Teddy Atlas ringside. I'm just looking up at the corner here at this guy that just got tagged, Teddy, this fighter who just got stunned. And I'm thinking, boy, it's like the air's come out of him a bit. He looks just so dejected now.
Yeah, you know, right now he's on the side of a mountain. You know, he's up on a cliff, and he needs a rope to get down. So that's what you got to do, Joe. You don't look and say, hey, he's up on a cliff. We know that. Give him a rope. Give him advice to get down.
Anticipated punches. All right, you look great, Jim. Don't go crazy.
They start up again. Back to action here with another round. But who knows how much longer it'll last. This has been a completely one-sided fight. Covers up nicely, gets rid of his opponent's body shot. Gets rid of that effort. Boy, just staying on the outside away from danger and scoring well. This is just perfect. I mean, just what I want to see when I come to the fight. Sign me up for this kind of a brawl any day of the week.
You know, it's unbelievable. You feel like you've already witnessed an entire war, but you're reminded it's only one of the battles. We still have many more to go.
Move your head.
Teddy, you know what I'm so impressed by? Obviously, the pace of this fight is just ridiculous, but how hungry these guys are, how badly each guy wants it.
So this is the kind of fight that it has nothing to do about money. It has everything to do about legacy, how they're going to be remembered.
Able to counter that attack. Pavlik blocks that punch. Not an accurate hook at all. Pavlik's dealing with the aftermath of being rocked, but yet he hasn't changed anything. He's still sticking with that style.
Well, that means panic has not set in. That's a good thing, Joe. He still believes he can get this thing done the way he came here to get it done.
Pavlik blocks that punch. Keeps his hands up defensively, protecting the head. A good block. That shot unable to land. Very nice defensive guard there. How about a return to sender with the left hand? What a good war this has been. What a good, solid fight it's been. The kind of fight that tells me somebody wants to get rid of the other guy.
It almost looks like they made a deal where neither one could win by decision, where if they didn't win by knockout, it doesn't count.
Carry it away and you catch it. Got that? It's going to happen. You're going to catch it. You're going to catch it. Let's get on that swelling. Get on the swelling.
6 rounds in the books, 6 to go. Blocks that punch. Winky blocks it. Teddy, I guess they wanted it. Look at this action going right out there, wasting no time.
No, these guys are impatient. They couldn't wait to get at each other.
Parries that punch intended for the head. Fine fundamentals, good counter punch. Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Nice strike after catching one by Kelly Pavlik. Winky Wright able to block that punch. Off to the side, a little swing and a miss going upstairs. Seconds to go in what has been a toe-to-toe war. Oh, what a great round. Good block by Winky. Blocks that belt line well. What a fight. What a great non-stop action fight this has been. Winky Wright able to block that punch. And this round comes to an end. A round that was highly entertaining. They put forth a non-stop effort.
Well, that's the styles that they figured to bring to this fight. Both guys with good motors.
Wait for him to go. Let's get on that swell. Get the compress on it.
Back to action now. We're underway in what has been a completely one-sided fight. You get the sense this one may not go the distance. Good block. See, the defense pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs. Blocks that punch. What a great job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Winky Wright. Right on the mark, both guys with the hook. Gets rid of that. It was intended for his head.
Defense, more defense.
Way to block there. Moves up nicely, gets rid of his opponent's body shot. Able to get rid of that one. Good job protecting himself. Back and forth they go, each man getting the best of it. Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Ended this round. Joe and Teddy sitting ringside with you. It gives us time to reflect on the bigger picture of boxing. You know, it was interesting. We had a fan walk up to you earlier today and say, hey, I know you learned everything from the legendary Cus D'Amato, the great trainer. And he said to you, what's the one thing you took away from all your years with Cus? What did you say to him?
Well, it wasn't a paycheck, I'll tell you that much, because Cus didn't believe in paying you for that. He said you're going to college, you're getting a valuable education, and you're not even being forced to pay a tuition. So I understood that. We worked 7 days a week, so there was no union. Cus believed in working on Sundays, so you couldn't go complain and say I'm being overworked. But I think seriously that the most important thing that I learned, of course, that from a technical standpoint, you have to be really secure in those areas. No matter how much talent a fighter has, you have to teach them right, teach them the fundamentals, but mentally. You have to understand that a fighter's really always under fear. And you have to understand those dimensions, those parameters. And you have to be able to find a way to get in there, understanding how he feels mentally, and understanding how that can impair his judgment, stop him from doing simple physical things.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. Kelly Pavlik's been stunned. He's having a much better round here. Earlier, we saw him being outworked, but right now, he's the one getting to work.
Yeah, well, you know, you go out to a restaurant, you have a half dozen half-shell clams, you might get a tummy ache. Well, he's been eating a lot of left hooks. I don't know if he has a tummy ache, but he figures right about now he wants to get rid of that indigestion. And the best way, start attacking.
Well, that's what Winky waits for, the counter punch. Now he's just walking him back a bit there up against the ropes. Kelly Pavlik blocks that away. Keeps his hands up defensively, protecting the head. Good looking right hand after he got hit. Neither man slowing down as we have 60 seconds to go in this round. Good block by Winky. Able to counter that attack. He throws a big, wide punch, and he throws a big, wide punch and leaves himself wide open.
Well, it's like leaving your window open in your house in the middle of winter. You know, a lot of cold air is going to come in. Guess what? Some hooks are coming in soon.
Able to dismiss his opponent's shot, and then comes back with an uppercut. The end of the round has arrived. And now an opportunity for the trainer here to get his hands on his guy. His guy just got tagged pretty good there. And when he looks into his eyes, what is he looking for?
Well, first of all, he's looking to see whether or not his guy is still there. You know, he got stunned pretty good. And then what he has to do is make sure his guy is listening to him. and telling them, hey, look, you got caught. You've been caught before. This is the way we can fix it. This is what you got to do to correct things.
So here we are, a new round underway, and in that last round, he got tagged. He got hit pretty hard, Teddy.
Yeah, he did. He got caught. Now, the first thing is, we all know he got caught, but why did he get caught? He has to be able to decipher that in his head. He has to be able to have the answer to that so it doesn't happen again.
Good defensive skill. Protecting his head well with his guard. Wow, just sit back and enjoy this one. You can tell both guys are so determined to give everything they have here tonight.
So it's like the first time you heard Ray Charles sing God Bless America. You knew it was special. You knew you hadn't heard it before. I haven't seen anything like this before.
Pace yourself.
Pavlik blocks that punch.
Keep it going.
What a great round. 2 minutes in, 60 seconds to go. But he gives one of his own. A left hand scores. A well-placed, gutsy uppercut after being tagged. Takes one, but gives one. Good work by Kelly Pavlik. The end to another very entertaining round in what has been a very entertaining fight. A fight where there's just bad intentions. The fight that just doesn't have the feel of a fight that's going to be a decision win for somebody. Looks like somebody's going to get stopped.
Right from the beginning, they've been fighting with desperation. Like going the decision, as you just touched on, has not been in their minds at all.
Okay? Side to side. Lean to the side, then boom! Counterpunch. Just focus on the fight. You'll take care of the swelling.
They start up again. Back to action here with another round. But who knows how much longer it'll last. This has been a completely one-sided fight. Good job protecting himself. A good block. return the sender with the left hand. A headshot blocked. This is why we love the sport, Teddy. I mean, this is just back and forth action nonstop.
Well, Joe, with special offensive happening in history, you remember where you are. Right now, I'm going to remember where I was during this fight. I'm watching a special epic right in front of me.
Glad to be here doing it, too. What a war this is. Oh, and he's got something for him himself, and it's a left hand. Good stuff in the opening 2 minutes. A minute to go in this round. Pulls the trigger right away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. Able to dismiss his opponent's shot and then comes back with an uppercut.
I think it has come to that point. He's behind on the cards. He's just got to be. Going to take a knockout to win this?
Yeah, I think so, and it's going to take a certain kind of attitude or strategy, a change in strategy. You go into the fights, you don't look for a knockout. You're looking to use your jab, you're looking to set up punches, you're looking to go rounds. Right now, he's got to find a way to get a knockout. Look for one punch. One big punch right now.
Here as we're ringside at our fight night venue. Of course, we're on the road with you every step of the way with a fine crew. We got to give credit to the crew there. Robbie and Rick back in the production truck doing a nice job, all cramped up in a tractor trailer.
Yeah, they do a great job. They allow us to go on the air and allow us to do the fun part while they're doing the grunt work. They're doing all the difficult things back there. Of course, Mike, Ryan, all those guys. We appreciate you very much, and we're not taking you out to dinner tonight.
You need to move your head more, side to side, okay? I want to see that head move.
They meet up for the 12th and final time. The last round has arrived. He returns the favor with a right hand of his own. Pavlik blocks that away. Pavlik with a good block. Good job staying away from the danger there. Not hitting his mark there going upstairs. Winky Wright's not showing us that he understands just how effective he can be if he went downstairs against his opponent.
Yeah, well, you know what you're saying, Joe? You're taking a peek and you're taking a swipe without meaning at his trainers. Because what he's telling you is he hasn't been taught some of the rudiments of boxing. That when you hurt a guy, you should go downstairs to finish him.
Pavlik blocks that away. Winky Wright's got a real problem, and he knows it, because that eye is worsening, and if it seals all the way shut, if it's swollen that badly, we could see a stoppage in this fight.
Yes, we can, and right now what should be seen is the corner of his opponent should see that advantage, and the fighter needs to see that advantage and be told that, and move to the right place, move to the side, and throw the kind of punches that can take advantage of that eye being closed.
Teddy, this is one of those moments where you just wish you could pick up the phone and call up the world and say, tune in. Everybody should be watching this, right?
I have a cell phone. I might do that right now.
Start dialing. pays off as he gets rid of that downstairs. Pulls the trigger right away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. Good job protecting himself. Which way will it go? Let's find out by sending it up to the ring announcer.
We go to the judges' scorecards. All three judges score the fight. A unanimous decision. Your winner, the Ghost,
Kelly Pavlik's your winner by a unanimous decision.
Well, he started going to the body, and it paid off for him, and it paid off us. A good, solid fight.
It was indeed, and we're glad you were with us to witness it. I'm Joe Tessitore for Teddy Atlas saying thanks for being with us, and enjoy the rest of your night.